So this also we are clear, whatever. One second. So we stopped there, right? In the last discussion, I think. Downloading the required parcels.
So we downloaded, distributed,
Yes, yes.
unpacked
We
also.
stopped there. We stopped there. That is the reason why we are compelled to start from that level. Now downloading is not happening. That is the reason why. We stopped at this level. Downloaded. What is that happened? The parcel has been downloaded, and after that it has been distributed, unpacked, and activated. So at that level we stopped actually. That's the reason why I'm trying to continue from there only. Yeah, let it happen. In the meantime, let me in the meantime, let us try to recollect what all the things we did. You remember what all the things we did as part of this process?
Yeah, so right from the bare metal, you mean?
Yeah, from the bare metal, yes.
Okay. We do the bare metal, then get the OS installed on that.
Yeah, let me 1 second, Aaron. Yeah, because yeah, it's happening. Let it. I don't want to maybe it may take a minute or two. In the meantime, let us have a brief recap. So on the bare metal box, what is that we did?
Install OS.
Yeah, install the OS. So usually in the real time, what is that? What is that we do? A customized OS, we keep it available all the time. A customized OS. OS itself has been customized. How? By making all your firewall rules and all been written. right? You agree with me?
Yes.
On a bare metal box, install customized CentOS. The most preferred, because rather than going with Red Hat, which is a subscription based, go with CentOS. Yeah. What is the next? What is the next?
The passwordless entry, is that part of the customized or
Yeah. Anything. I mean,
IP IP tables?
the IP
Passwordless
address.
entry?
Is there an
IP
IP
address.
address to that? And passwordless entry and daytime sync. Yeah. What is the next? What is the next?
Then we install the Cloudera manager on one of the hosts.
Yeah. So during this stage itself, we'll be having a plan. We'll be having a plan that what services needs to be installed on what boxes. I mean nodes especially. So we'll have the Cloudera manager binary installed on, I mean downloaded onto one machine, and then Cloudera manager setup. So the Cloudera manager setup on one node on one node. Once that is done, then we can go with what is the thing that we can go with the cluster installation, right? Of course, as part of Cloudera manager setup, we are going to set up the Cloudera manager agents and all on the respective nodes, all that stuff. Yes, that is what we are about to see now here. I think maybe in a minute or two this will happen. So at every level, if you notice, at every level, we have discussed technically why each is needed. Why each is needed. So we need to go, why we need to make this date time synchronization is required, how it can be done. At every level, we have precisely discussed what needs to be done. And the manual mode also we have seen very clearly how that manual installation can be automated with your Cloudera manager setup. I think you got the clarity on that. So I don't think you have any questions on whatever we have discussed. You may be able to understand all whatever we discussed as part, because all are discussed very technically with a logical aspect backing. We have discussed. We haven't discussed anything illogical. I don't think you have any questions on that. So let these parcels get distributed, unpacked and activated. So after this step only, we'll be able to set up the services on the respective nodes. If you remember correctly, after the activation, we have stopped. After the activation, we have stopped. So from that level only, I am continuing, because after the activation, then the cluster setup process is going to start. So I stopped it there. That is the reason why we are compelled to do it from the same, because I don't want to continue and then redo it. So that is where we stopped that one. I think, yeah. Let me see the resource consumption. Not much. Memory is getting used more, but CPU not much. Yeah,
Srini, while that's happening, a quick question.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
please, please, please.
so in the normal scenario, if I have multiple users using the cluster,
Hmm.
uh, the IDs will be set up with the operating system, right? And then if one user wants to use Hive and another user wants to use something, say Pig,
Hmm.
um, so do you have to create anything within HDFS, a user group and associate them, or they will just have access to everything?
Oh, very good question. See, in terms of the cluster, we generally don't do that for the reason, say you as a developer or maybe user logged in, if you need to work with, I mean, usually we work with Uzi only. We don't work with, because maybe you have the access to Hue browser, you can go there and you can write your pig script directly, start working it. But in the production environment, I don't think you'll be doing like that. You have already all the scripts, your SQLs, your MapReduce jars and all these been made available. You design your Uzi workflow and usually we run those workflows, usually. So that is the case that we cannot make restricted to one particular set. So I make the entire thing accessible at the Hue level. You're talking at the Hue level or you're talking in terms of the services using your CLI.
Um, Talking at the Hue level.
Hue level, no option. Your Hue browser, whatever is been activated in the Hue browser, that is accessible to every user that you give. Because you create a user there, you give it, then it is accessible to everyone.
So basically, when I have the data files sitting in the HDFS file system,
Hmm.
every user will have all rights
No,
to
no, that can be
basically.
controlled. That can be controlled. Because you have the file system commands, right, Arun? You have the file system commands. Based on that, you can control it. That is the reason why file system commands are being given to you. There you have chmod, chown, chgroup. When those commands are there as part of your Hadoop file system also, like how we have at the Linux file system, same like we have at that level also.
Okay, so you'll just assign users to the group or whatever based on
Yeah, 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 yeah.
permissions.
See, users creation, assigning them to a group and giving the permissions to that group, that all is the same like your Linux file system only. But in terms of the services that you are accessing through your Hue browser and all, we don't have that limitation basically. That is what I'm trying to share with you. think activation also happening on unpacking also happening. I don't think it will take more than a minute or two. And one more small thing that has happened unnoticingly. The last session, you remember, I logged off and logged in again.
Yeah.
So I made money or knee as organizer and event. By any chance, money or knee on your machine, the leftover part recorded, the session got recorded. I don't know whether you noticed that or not. If not, not a problem. We'll oh, money. You did not notice that because while logging off, see, going out of the meeting, I made one of okay. I made one of I think I don't remember exactly money or knee. I made them as presenter who are available at the top to me. I just made as a presenter and organizer, and I left. Without doing that, if I go, then the meeting will get ended. That is the reason why I made and I joined. After joining, I recorded, but that recorded thing was not downloaded onto my machine. Oh, money, I made you the organizer, right? But you noticed when I ended the meeting, any file that got saved onto your machine? You noticed? I'll show you. I'll show you. If it is your Windows box, I think you can go to documents. There you'll be seeing. You'll be seeing there, all been downloaded. You'll have something called original. There we'll have the original GoToMeeting file, and the converted files will be there here. Just have a look at that. I think no, it will. You'll get a GoToMeeting icon, and there you should actually say convert. Then you'll be able to convert. So I think you're able to see here. Arun, I think you're able to see here clearly. Every component, we have a group also for that. Flume, it has got its own group. So I can make users created and assigned to that group so that they'll have. So these are the groups that are going to be created internally. So to make restricted things. So you can make it like that. You noticed here?
Yeah.
So those are the default groups that gets created. Okay, it's almost done. Unpacking is happening now. Distributed distribution has been done. Unpacking will not take much time. So resource requirements also you see. For parcels, the space required depending on the number of the parcels you download to the Cloudera Manager server and distribute to agent hosts. You can download multiple parcels of the same product of different versions and builds that you notice here. That's what the beauty part. So depending on if you're managing multiple clusters, only one parcel of product uh, or version or build or distribution is downloaded on the Cloud RAM Manager, not one per cluster. So you understand from this one, using this Cloud RAM Manager, what can be done? Multiple clusters can be managed. Multiple clusters can be managed with the same Cloud RAM Manager. That is one thing you need to understand. Multiple clusters can be managed with the same Cloud RAM Manager. So irrespective of the number of clusters you manage, that parcel whatever you have downloaded, one per Cloud RAM Manager, not per cluster. That is what they are mentioning, not one per cluster. In the local parcel repository on the Cloud RAM Manager server, the approximate sizes of various parcels like this. If it is CDH 4.6, if it is CDH 5, which includes Impala and such, and 2 GB per parcel when it is been unpacked. Okay, I think you understand. The Cloud RAM Management Service, I think you noticed this one. What is this Cloud RAM Management Service? What is this Cloud RAM Management Service? You noticed under the cluster, even in the pseudo cluster also, you might have noticed under your cluster, you see one more thing called Cloud RAM Management Service. The host monitor and the service monitor, there are 5 services that are there. Event launcher, publisher. You notice those things? All comes under Cloud RAM Management Service. That is the one with which it is able to track the minute details of every service running on different hosts, and those metrics are being shown to you in the UI form, I mean graphical form. On agent host, each unpacked parcel requires about 3 times the space of downloaded parcel in the Cloud RAM Manager server. By default, unpacked parcels are located in /opt/cloudera/parcels. I think you noticed that one here. By default, unpacked parcels are located in the respective space. Let me connect to my Hadoop cluster, login as root. SSH root at the rate data node of 3. Okay. /opt/cloudera/ you notice that? You notice that what is there here? Page
Yeah.
3.11. You see, what is there available inside that one? Ben etc include ZARs, lib and all these things available as part of this. So /opt/cloudera/parcels, the path where you have all your parcels available. You can see all your downloaded parcels, your distributed parcels are downloaded onto the Cloud RAM Manager instance, Cloud RAM Manager machine, distributed, unpacked and activated on the respective hosts. 2 more needs to be unpacked. You know why we are doing this again? We have done in the last class, right? Why we are doing it once again now?
We didn't configure the entire cluster. We just downloaded and
No, we
unpacked.
have downloaded, we have distributed, we have unpacked, and we have activated also. After that, during the cluster installation process with the services, we stopped. If you recollect properly, we have done all these things, but at the cluster services installation point, we stopped. The reason behind, I removed that cluster, whatever the cluster that is been formed, that cluster I removed because I mean, if I am going in this path, the way I am able to install the services will be different. If I stop there and I continue from there, the way I install the services will be different. I'll show you that path. Both the paths I'll be showing you. Even after this part is over, this section of Cloudera Manager, downloading the parcel, distributing, unpacking, and activating them. After this phase is over, we go to the Cloudera services onto the respective. And now I think it is done, activated and all. I say continue. Inspecting the host. Inspect host for correctness. I think we have seen Money, you got any file downloaded there? Okay, okay. You given the answer for the question I asked. Okay. We can skip this step actually because we know host clocks differ. These two, no problem. I will see those things later. Host clocks differ. Largest difference is between data node 2 and manager. Okay. Now you see here, choose a combination of services to install. What is that we do? Shall we take up HDFS, Yarn, Zookeeper, Uzi, Hive, and Hue? Or
Yes.
the custom services, choose your own services required by choosing services will automatically be included. Flume can be added after your initial cluster has been set up. What is that we do? I'm giving the choice to you. What is that we do? Either we set up all the services now and where, okay, custom services. Now here we can choose whatever we need. HDFS, Hive, Hue, Kafka, I don't need, Uzi, Spark, Scoop2, and Zookeeper. Remaining things we don't need at this stage. We will, this wizard will also install the Cloudera management service. There are set of components that enable monitoring, reporting, event, and alerts. These components requires databases to store information, which will be configured on the next page. that you have appropriate license front and front. No, let us not go for this. This is a crucial screen. That is what we need to have. So that is the reason why I stopped that. Because if you stop the cluster installation, we get this path now. Otherwise, as the cluster has been set up, I go and add service by service, whatever I need. First, maybe I need HDFS, then YARN, then I keep going in that way. But here you have got, you can see that here. On manager, we have certain things, and on data node 1 to 4, we have certain things. So I think you are seeing here. Now you can go to each individual. Name node on my manager. No, right? What is the plan? What is the plan? I think you noticed. Friends, please be active.
So
Be
name,
active now. Yeah.
name node is master, and you're going to make one of the data nodes also a secondary name node, right?
Now, secondary name node, I'll put it on my manager because it has got almost 12 gig. So I'm keeping it on my manager where my Cloud manager is running.
Okay.
Okay. So data node, I'm making it. What is that I'm making? I don't make. I make only 1, 2, 3, 4 as my data nodes. Is that fine?
Yeah.
So that is done. NFS gateway probably on my master, and 1 second, let me, this one Hive server on my master. Okay, webcat server. So depending on I think you are seeing here, we are
So
trying
the
to,
NFS gateway is for mapping the HDFS file system on any other machine, right? Just like we do the network map. That's why I'm using
exactly,
the NFS gateway. Okay.
yes, exactly. Hue server also, let me put it on my manager. See, we don't do this one. Actually, for all these things, you will be having a separate uh, high-end server. I think, for all Hive-related things, I take it as a separate instance, high-end server. Maybe the respective clients kind of services or agents kind of services I may be putting on my slaves and all, but usually I will not be doing this. I think you are noticing here when I am choosing Hue server, if I choose here, how I am deciding. If you see on the manager, we have too many things. You notice that on my data node, I have all data node services, node manager, task tracker. I think you are seeing Spark gateway and Hive gateways on all my slaves. You're noticing here what I'm trying to do?
Yeah.
So this kind of mapping will not be there if I might have continued with my previous setup. That is why I removed that, and we are compelled to go in this path to get you this one. And now I'll show you, once this is done, we add any new service, we get the same UI now, but not this kind of mapping. Only to that particular service we get. So service by service only we need to go that time. Not all the services you need. We have chosen now what services need to be set up. Now this kind of opportunity you will not get. So MapReduce, my job tracker, that is fine. I think you noticed here, how come only on those 4 nodes you are able to get that? You notice that one? Same as data node I kept. What is going to
So,
happen?
so, so shouldn't the job tracker be on the master, on the name node?
No, not required. Not essential. It can be anywhere. As I kept that one, maybe we move this one to the master because the load on the manager is very high. So that is why I'm moving it to this one, your job tracker. I think you're getting the point. And all these service monitor, activity monitor, host monitor, reports manager, event server, all these put together your Cloudera management service. Getting the point? You want, you can make a note of this one. Cloudera, what will be there as a part of your Cloudera management service? Service monitor, activity monitor, host monitor, reports manager, event server, and alert publisher. All part of your Cloudera management service. Where we are setting up those things, let's have a look at it. Setting up all these on my, I think you remember the configuration that is required for your Cloudera manager setup instance. It is no less than your name node and your secondary name node and your job tracker. Because as part of the Cloudera manager instance, when this Cloudera manager, usually we don't even set up on Cloudera manager instance, maybe on a separate, because it also is a CPU and memory intensive service. CPU and memory intensive service. Periodically it should collect. You see the reports manager, host monitor, every fixed interval of time, I mean 5 seconds or 1 second or maybe 500 milliseconds, the heartbeat needs to be collected from. Of course, it is the responsibility of the slave to send the heartbeat, not the server is going to collect that one. It is the responsibility of the slave to send the heartbeat to the master. The slave should tell, I am alive, I am alive. Not the master saying, are you alive, are you alive? No. The slave is going to update that one. So, depending on the number of slaves we have in the cluster, the load will get increased. The host monitor, activity monitor. I think you notice the graphs that you are seeing very next to the cluster. CPU usage, IO, memory, network and all you are seeing. The graphs as part of your the cluster. You notice that? I put it on this one. That is fine. So let me have a big picture. View by host. We have 4 data nodes, 1 manager and 1 master. So on manager still we have, but fine, all those Cloudera management services I intentionally kept it there. Job history server and resource manager also I kept it on my manager, that is fine. You noticed here JHS, job history server. Why this is needed? Job history server is needed. And you have one more thing called resource manager. That is for your yarn. So what is this job history server? So better this also I keep it in the manager Hive view MapReduce yarn. Resource manager also I keep it on this. That's fine. Job history server, that is fine.
So, so, so the job history server is only for high availability, right?
No. Job history server is actually uh, is going to track the history of the jobs. I think you see when you go to the Hue browser, you have something called manage jobs. When you click on that, it is going to show you the list of the jobs that are being executed or running or killed, whatever it is. When you go to when you select any job, you are able to go deeper into the details, how many tasks been executed, and logs and all that stuff. That is all being maintained by job history server. If job history server is not functioning, then we will not be able to get the list of the jobs as part of that. We will not get that one. You want, I can show you once we have done this one, I can show you taking you to the either this cluster or the pseudo cluster, whatever you have. You want, you can check it out. Job history server, you shut down or you stop that and you run some job on the cluster and see, you will not be able to get the details of the job, whatever is been executed. The details of the job, every job running on the Hadoop cluster is actually being managed by your job history server. The details of every job, not specific. Every job is being managed by. I mean, the details are being actually tracked by your job history server. So you want to have a check once again. Look at it. You want me to move certain things, then we will do that. Otherwise, we will continue. By host, by each host, on every data node, I kept only HDFS data node, Hive gateway, MapReduce task tracker, and Spark gateway, and your node manager. I think node manager. On my manager, I kept secondary name node, HDFS balancer. I think you understand what is this balancer. And your Hive WebCat, WebHCat server. I'll tell you for what purpose that is. Hue server, Cloud management service. All these five are for that one. Alert publisher, event server, your reports manager, your host monitor, your activity monitor, and your service monitor. So all these related to your cloud management service. And then you have your Uzi server running on this one. Let me also move this Uzi to my master. Uzi server also, let me move it to, yes. Okay. Uzi server. That also I moved it. So now you see job history server and my Zookeeper. Okay. Zookeeper server. And here name node, NFS gateway, your Hive gateway, Metastore server, Hive server 2, your job tracker, your Uzi server, and then we have Spark gateway, Scoop 2 server, and your resource manager. So any changes you need, please let me know. We do it and we take it to the next. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes. So Spark will run on all the servers, right? Is
Yes.
that what you did?
Yeah, it is the same like your. It is the same like your. I can say as a MapRed version one or your yarn kind of thing, because Spark is basically the computing power of the cluster, the computing facility, not the storage facility. Because Spark also runs against the same HDFS. Storage is the same even to Spark. So Spark is only a computing library, not processing library, not a storage library. It's not a storage framework. That is the reason why we are setting up this one also on the same cluster. It's done. Any views from your end, friends? Please let me know. That is where I'm waiting for your inputs. Any thoughts from your end? I think you have seen how I am. It's all logical. You ask me anything, why Srinivas you are doing like this? No specific. Trying to distribute because my manager and master has got more resources. That is the reason why I'm planning to set up more on that. My data nodes has got limited resources. That is why only those things I am setting up. Any views? Any more views? Or shall we proceed further?
I think you can proceed.
Yeah. Now I say continue. Now here we need to be more careful. Of course, if it is using internal, then we don't have any harm. Use custom databases or use embedded database. For Hive, this one. For Hue, this one. For Activity Monitor, this one. Reports Manager, this one. I think you noticed here. For Uzi server also you see. You don't want, then I can say use custom databases for each and everything. I can specifically go for it and decide whatever. So for that sake, what needs to be done? The ground needs to be made ready before you come to this step. Or you keep this one as is. Now start going to the respective node or a machine in the cluster and set up the database. Create the respective user and the password for that and bring all those things here. Account. Create an account there and start using those accounts here. Got the point? You have an option here, tester. It is showing you what it is saying. We'll create this database in the later step. We'll create the database in the later step. So these two, activity monitor and reports manager, both are successful when we tested the connection. And shall I continue here? So for what services we need databases? For what services we need databases here?
You need for Hive for sure. Hive and
Yeah.
um,
Let me put all those things here also. You can set up your Zookeeper service on multiple. Hope you got all these things. Now, only the cloud management services, I confined it to manager, and to the master I made resource manager, node manager, and job history server. And of course, I produce task tracker, it's fine. Data node, let me, going for that, I don't want. Maybe if needed, we can do that at the later stage. So automatically, even the task tracker, same as a data node, where data node is set up, there you have a task tracker. So Spark gateway, that's fine. So node manager also you see same as data node. So we don't need to bother about it. So that's fine. Yes. Now let me say continue. Here I am trying to make use of the embedded database only. I am not using any database on my own. But if needed, what can be done? If needed, what can be done? You can customize your own
You can,
databases and make this data to be tracked there. So here only I asked, what is this Hive database, for what purpose this Hive, and you, why you require? See, activity monitor, reports manager, uh, that is fine. But for Uzi server, Hive and Hue, why you need that? Why you need a database to manage? What might be getting?
that's where it stores the metadata of the tables, right? When you create say for an external table, it actually stores the metadata of that.
Yeah, you are right. For Hive and all these things, that is where the metadata is going to be stored in these databases. Whatever you are mentioning, it is actually being stored in these databases. That is the reason why for Hive, Hue, and Uzi, even Uzi, I don't know whether you noticed that or not. Um, Even the pseudo cluster also, if you go and see, you will come to know in the dashboard in the Hue browser what are the jobs that are being executed, all the details being tracked, all the details. Everything that you do it at the Uzi level, all the details being tracked. Scoop, what is that money you said? Did I ignored anything? Okay, I'm continuing now. So look at the, I think now you can, yeah, thank you, Mani. So HDFS block size, data node directory, name node data directories, checkpoint directories, server port, you want any changes to be done, job tracker local data directory, task tracker local data directories, mail server host name, but that we don't have here as of now. We are keeping that. That is why we will not be touching those things. Host monitor storage directory, service monitor storage directory, share lib root directory for Uzi, Uzi server data directory, and your history server related things, your scoop 2 server related things, and your node manager local directories. So your data directories, your transaction log directory. So you want to make any changes to any of these, you always can do that. You always can do that.
Where do you set up the snapshot directories and mirroring
This
and all
one,
that?
around this one. These are, you are seeing here, right? Name node data directories.
Okay,
Inside that
so
LN only, you'll be seeing all those things. File system image.
or inside that, inside that the snapshots will be stored, all the file system image and all that.
Exactly, exactly.
What if I want to mirror to a different cluster?
Didn't get come out again.
Suppose I want to set up a backup or a DR kind of a cluster, right? So I want to mirror the data from this cluster to the other cluster. So I
We
want to
need
do
to
that
have a
mirroring.
explicit mechanism for that. We cannot do that here. You want to
Okay.
have a mirroring of the cluster. You cannot do that from here. So we have a separate thing called disaster recovery or backup mechanism. Separate, nothing from this setting up of the services here. This all is confined only to the cluster. All confined only to the cluster. So tell me, if you need to have a backup and all, so what is that you are planning? So I think, what is there in your mind is, I specify the path. I mean, maybe I have something called here add. I give this one, then it is going to be, but thing is, all this confined to this cluster only. Whatever we give here, all relative to the, because in the previous sections we have already specified which service needs to run on which host. Whatever the paths we mention here, all paths related to the current cluster only. Cannot be done on a different cluster. You got my point, Arun?
Yeah, got it. So if you want to set up data disaster recovery or something, then I'd follow. It's totally different thing, right?
It's all a different thing. No, nothing related to this one. That is where I'm saying here. You want to have a see here. DFS name directory. See, all these are looking to be your things here, but everything is actually a property. Which property? I think you remember, I have discussed about this one during our admin part only. Core-site.xml, mapplet-site.xml, hive-site.xml. For every component, we have a configuration file which is similar in structure. We have a key value pair kind of thing inside every, that is a property. Name of the property, value of the property, and the description. That is a configuration file, right? You remember? Whatever
Yeah.
whatever we are giving here, all those are nothing but the properties. All those are nothing but the properties at your respective, because you know very well this HDFS block size belongs to HDFS service. So it should be a part of your HDFS-site.xml file. Whatever you are making now, whatever the details we are publishing now, all these will be stored inside your, all these will be stored inside your, all these will be stored inside your respective configuration files. Got the point?
Yeah.
Oh, one second. Let me just take a snapshot of this event. That's fine. What is that? One step running in command line. Command failed to run because the service Hive has invalid configuration. Review and correct its configuration. First, Hive is configured with Spark on Yarn. Hive must also be configured with Yarn. Okay. No issue. Uh, must be configured with Yarn. Okay. You can do these things also. Later the Hive gateway, that is fine. Metastore, webcat, Hive server 2 on the manager, Q on my master, and my MapReduce on my master, and that's fine. Also on my, this also I do it on my master. Yarn, a resource manager also on my master, and the Zookeeper server on my. Okay. command failed to run because loose. We didn't configure. Hive must also be configured with yarn. Why? You also can notice what scripts are running in the background to start the respective roles or services. You can see that here. If things are going wrong, why, what happened to that also you're going to see. Mhm. If I delete this now, again the partial distribution needs to happen. I don't know why Spark service came, even we deselected that. Name of the Spark on the yarn service that this Hive service instance depends on. We removed that one. We thought of assigning the Spark service later. But how come this came on? You noticed there we deselected that one, right? The Spark service from the existing one in the configuration. You notice that one there we have deselected the Spark service with the expectation that we can set up Spark service at the later stage after setting up the cluster. But that Spark service got installed. Is it because the
No, I think you selected it. I think you selected it.
no, later when we got the error message, at the later step, now when we came over here, after we continued, we noticed that there was an error message with the Spark service. So that is why we went back and we have deselected that service. And then again we configured it. But the problem is, if I remove this cluster again, and the same host cannot be part of one more cluster I create. If I create one more cluster now, you can add the services to this. But if I delete this, I need to, yeah, but the service is, if I, let me delete this one. We didn't use that Spark service, right? Why is it still it is? Let me add the services one after the other. This all is to ensure that we will not have the same pain in distributing your one second. Now let me add my services to this. Then it makes more sense. Now I think you are seeing when you add the cluster, here, the cluster is already been added. The cluster is already been added, and to this cluster, the hosts are also there. What are the hosts? The 6 hosts what you are seeing here, all hosts are also there here. What roles are there here? Oh, management service roles, no problem. That's fine. So, okay. So when you have your host ready as part of the cluster and start adding the service, so you will get the option like this. Let me individually do this one. My name node on my master, a secondary name node on my, okay, my balancer on this one, and okay, or let us not have none at this stage, we do at the later stage. Custom, I don't want it to happen on the master. I say continue. It's the same screens what you have before. Let this get. We can also do this way. Once you add the cluster to your Cloudera manager and using, assigning the services to your cluster in a phased manner is also okay. You see here formatting the name node directories of the current name node. If the name node directories are not empty, this is expected to fail. Why? If those right permissions and all not there for that one and all, if not able to format that, then this may fail. But this has been successfully done. Start your HDFS service, creating HDFS temp directory, that is /tmp at the root level on your HDFS. This is on your HDFS. So continue and I click on finish. Okay. So your HDFS service is ready now. And using this HDFS service, I may be interested to put my yarn. If at all, if there is any dependency, that it automatically resource manager on my master and job history server, that is fine. Yeah, fine, as a data node, that's okay. And this is also fine. Yeah. Let me add the services one after the other, what is needed to me, rather than doing that way. I think, we deselected that, but I really not sure whether it got deselected or not, but that Spark service also got included. I think you noticed here, waiting for Cloudera Manager agents to detect the release. What is that release? CDH and after that deploying the client configuration, and after that creating the DFS directories for yarn, and after that start the yarn service. As part of that one, 6 roles been started. What are those 6 roles? Your job history server, your node manager role, all those been, and I click on finish. Okay, so what are the two concerning health issues? Let me look at that. Fine, not a problem. And I also add the service. As of now, we need mm, Hive service, gateway, Hive Metastore server, uh, Hive Metastore server. Okay, but where that is available, that's fine. Yeah, use embedded database only. User Hive warehouse, that is fine. Waiting for Cloudera manager agents to detect the release, that is CDH 5.11. It is deploying the client configuration, creating the Hive Metastore database, what is being given by you. You see here creating your Hive Metastore tables also, creating Hive user directory under user Hive, creating warehouse directory under user warehouse, and permissions also been set accordingly, and then starting your Hive service. Click on finish. See, even in the production, we do like this only. We will not, manage, set up all the services. We go only by demand. What services we need, because there is no point managing or setting up all the services which are needed. As a result, resources are being consumed. Your processing is being impacted and even your storage also been impacted. That is why we don't do that usually. But beginning, as you have opted that what are these core services that needs to be set up on the cluster, you opted that. But why Spark service is, I still doubt, maybe something we might have done unnoticeably there. That is the reason why Spark services came. That is why I'm trying to add the services now individually so that we'll be able to. Why the resource manager health is still clock offset? No chance. Slash etc slash. It is pointing to the server, I mean, the public thing only. Server G, that is CentOS pool 1 and this enabled with internet. No way that the clock speed or the clock offset is agent status is bad on the following. Because the timestamp of those metrics is outside the host monitor acceptance window. So this is something the health issue is coming because of the problem with the time service only. The host cloud manager matches the host NTP service could not be located or did not respond to a request for the clock offset. So this is purely because of the timestamp service only. Node 1, node 2, 3, 4, all related to that. I hope this is all the health concerning things is all only because of the improper time service, I mean the NTP. Why, but still it is saying, um, 1 second. Oh, why? That's fine. So now I think we should be able to see the health issue should go off. Data node 1, 2, 3, 4. It should come in the right state now. Wait for a minute. Hive came in the right state. This is a host health test that checks the host is in contact with the Cloud Management Manager service. The host is not in contact with the host monitor. Why? Wait for a minute. Why DNS resolution is coming? The host and the canonical name for this source are not consistent when checked from Java process. The host name and the canonical name for this host are not consistent when checked from Java process. Mhm. Because in the etc host it has been specified properly only. That's host. Sorry. The data node's health is okay. So CPU absolutely no problem on this, and memory also is fine. It is not that memory we have any, but still the resources. Why the resource manager health is still all health check? No, fine. These are okay. These are acceptable. That's not a problem. Health issues. Yeah, fine. So these services are in the critical health. So no point adding more services to this one. So configuration issues, that is fine because it is all related to the standards that needs to be maintained in the cluster. Zookeeper service is needed. So that is fine. The configuration issues, that is fine. But health issues, we have HDFS service issues and even YAN service related also. There are health issues. Agent status. Okay. Let me fix these health issues of these two services. I'll try to document that one even. What been configured to fix these two services health issues. Probably I'll be sharing it with you. Because there is no point adding the other services until and unless these are running fine. So there is no point adding the other services to the existing cluster when the services are not in the healthy state. So let me bring them back into the normal state, then we can add the other services. So I'll try to fix this one, the health issues. DNS resolution, it is saying, I think that can be fixed, that should not be a problem. But the other issue that it is showing related to the name node health, that's where I doubt, why the name node health is, because we don't have too many services running on the host. If you see all the hosts and the roles that are running on this one, on manager, apart from cloud management services, we don't have too many. On the master, if you see, we have only 4 roles: HDFS name node, gateway, metastore server, and yarn resource manager. So only these are running. So let me figure it out how to bring back these nodes from the bad health and make them to run in a healthy state. And then we'll think about adding the other services to the same cluster. Will that be fine, friends? Yeah, Sunil, Arun, Mani. Okay.
Yes, yes, Srinivas.
Rashini.
Yeah. So let me fix this issue. So the time synchronization, I think we were able to fix that one. That is not there anymore because the NTP service, network time protocol service, is not running on couple of hosts that we have started. So there is no issue with that. Now there is an issue with the DNS resolution with 2 hosts. Let me figure it out, that one also. And fix the bad health state of these things. Then we can think about adding the other services to this cluster. Okay, that probably will be doing in the next session. I'll also ask Sunil to upload that recording, last 2 recordings, including the current one, probably end of today. Okay, please go through that one, and we will see how to add the other services probably in the next session. Okay.